Hello! Welcome to the Sunday Fun Day stream. Today we're not streaming POW, so I don't get to do the pow, 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 pow. Oh, I guess I did. Anywho, yesterday I was up in the mountains, I want to say, but I was actually in the woods just outside of Oslo, and it felt crazy that in like 17 hours or whatever, when I tweeted this, I was going to be here streaming from Oslo again. It was super nice to get that little vacation time in long into the woods in a cabin without any proper electricity or plumbing. But now we're back here in Techland, and today we are looking at how we can automate some of the grunt work for our project. Specifically, we are going to do this for my Fathom Analytics Gatsby plugin, but these things are good to do even in your own project, but especially for open source project when there are lots of people involved, or you never know kind of the level of experience the people who are going to be involved are, and just because grunt work should be automated because nobody really wants to do it. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. And if you're watching this in the replay, I might have been able to add some timestamps in the description so you can jump around to the different parts that sounds interesting to you. But for the people who are here live, welcome and thank you. Thank you, Snooty. You saw the tweet. Yes, I even added an additional photo of the full moon yesterday. You know, our phone cameras don't really do those kinds of things justice, but I just had to capture it for myself. So if you're not Snooty, feel free to let me know who you are in the comments. And ask me questions along the way or give me feedback on what I'm doing. So again, we're trying to set up and automate some of the grunt work for a project. And specifically, we're going to do ESLint and Prettier scripts with Husky. So that might be 3 words that mean nothing to you, but that's what we're going to figure out today. And also, this is, I think, the first stream where I've actually done this before, but that does not mean that we won't be running into difficulties, because you do this once for a project, and then for me at least, it's like a year maybe before I do it again. So it's almost like I have to figure it out all again, and hopefully it won't take any more than the hour we have today. And we'll see. So first up, I'm gonna share my screen, and then we're gonna do cheat a little and go and have a look at an article by Nick, who works for Dev2 or Forum, I think is the kind of the company behind Dev2 now. But anyway, he has written up what he always does for his project, and we're going to just try and follow his recipe because that's what I did last time. But maybe after making a stream, I will just check my own stream the next time I need to do this. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff to configure and get working. But as soon as you get it working, it kind of just runs there in the background. And I really want to get better at doing automating this kind of grunt work so that I can focus more on like the fun parts of making these plugins. And I just want to say, people, I'm just going to show you because spring, you know, is coming. We went into the woods, loads of snow. We came back to Oslo, streets are bare, they're like dry. I think I can put on my small shoes, as I call them. Whenever you can wear your small shoes again after the winter in Norway, it's a good day. So I'm just going to show you when I'm pulling up the curtain here, and you'll see. Look at that. That is some beautiful, beautiful sun. Also reminds me we need to clean the windows. But that's not the theme for today. So let's make it dark again. And let's get started. So we will be sharing the screen. So just 2 days in the woods, and I'm like, what? What's a computer? Okay, we'll see. This one. Yes. This is how we all start, right? So we'll do, I think I copied his name at least, so we don't have to figure that out. Nicotine Online stuff. I always set up Husky. Let's see if we can find it. Yes, First one. Good stuff. So he has this article on iamdeveloper.com, stuff I always set up for front-end work. So it's from, October 2020. So it's not that old, but I've used it, I think, twice. So maybe I do set up these things more often than I'd like to admit. We have some new people on the stream. Hello, Ola. Sounds like a Norwegian as well. So ESLint. So let's just read what he says, because he's probably more like eloquent than I am. So ESLint is for linting front-end files, JavaScript, JSX, and TypeScript. There are all kinds of rules and plugins for this, but the gist of using a linter is to keep your code adhering to a project standard style. So for the ESLint, it does stuff like letting you know if you should, if you set it to so in JavaScript, you can decide if you want the semicolon or semi-parenthesis. What are those called? Semi-parenthesis? Anyway, if you want those at the end of the line or not. And then you put that into a rule, and then ESLint will let you know if you do something that is not adhering to the styles of the project. So with JavaScript, as many of you know, we could do pretty much anything, and it's always nice to have some rules in place so that the code is similar across the whole code base and that everybody in the project codes in the same style. So that's what ESLint does. And then we have Prettier, which is, so some rules from ESLint can be fixed by Prettier. So I think the standards these days, it says we let Prettier focus on all of its stuff, and then we do not let ESLint mess with the same rules that Prettier has already fixed for us, if that makes sense. So Prettier is for formatting your code. So it's not so much about the style of the code, it's more about like the length of our lines, how we should, so you can see in this GIF here, as if you should have double quotes or single quotes. And I think that's something you could set in ESLint as well. But after we have gotten Prettier, we'll do all of the formatting with Prettier, and then more important kind of JavaScript rules with ESLint. So that's all, as you can see here. And then he also has StyleLint. We don't need that for the plugin because there is no CSS in the plugin. I've never used StyleLint, but that's interesting. I probably will if I ever do another project where I write the CSS myself. Oh, I know you, Ola. Cool. So side effect, as he says, is improving code reviews, because then whenever somebody wants to participate in my plugin, if they make a pull request, I don't have to spend like the first review just saying like, oh, in this project, we don't use parentheses if there's only one argument and stuff like that. We can just say, this should have been fixed before we get to the pull request stage. So then the actual comment or discussions in the pull request will be about what the code does more than how it looks, because that should already be fixed. So that's what he says, I guess, enables you to remove any discussion of what they do from a code review because the rules are already set in place. This is great because it allows you to focus on the actual code review, which is the bug you're trying to fix or the feature you're trying to implement. So Nick is a really good guy. I do recommend following him on Twitter. He has helped out a little bit with my other plugin, the OEmbed plugin for Gatsby that I'm hoping to revamp in April. So that's a little bit of the reason why I'm doing this much simpler Fathom plugin and setting up all of these rules and automations and all of that stuff for the simpler plugin, because then I have learned, and when we go into the larger work, because the OEmbed plugin is a lot more complex code-wise, then I already have this in place and can do that for that plugin as well. So lots of talking there. Husky. So Snooty said they didn't know what Husky was, and Husky is great. It lets you hook into Git commands. So let's just read what he has eloquently put down here. So it makes creating Git hooks a joy. So you could probably do it without Husky, but I've never tried. It's a script that runs during an event in a repository, for example, before a commit. Once the Husky package is installed, all that is required is a configuration to decide which Git hooks to use and what to run for that particular hook. So here we can see an example. So whenever a commit that's going to be made pre-commit, it now says it's going to say echo hi, and we can find that down here in the screenshot here, that then it will say run echo hi before the file is committed. And then there's another node package that he uses that ties all of this together. And its lint stage is a node package that makes it easier to run tasks for all staged file in a Git repository. And that's super interesting, because if you don't want it to go through all files, we just want to go through the files that we have changed and then do something on those files. So if you go back to our example above, the echoes hi, we can change the command to lint staged. And the pre-commit hook will run lint stage, but nothing will happen because we need to let lint stage know what we want to do during the pre-commit. So one of the examples then he has here is on lint stage, let's run Prettier on all of our staged files and do more than just warn the user or the coder, the developer. We can actually have it change the code right before it's committed. So nothing is ever committed to our Git repository that is formatted wrong, because this will fix it before it's committed. So now if we commit the file, he says the pre-commit hook will run, and if any JavaScript files are being committed, the pre-commit hook, thanks to linked stage, will run Prettier and update the file with any formatting changes and then commit the file. So that's super valuable. I've used it a little bit on another project, and it just makes everything so much smoother. And then he says, putting it all together, that's what we're going to do together. So one of the reasons why you want to have Husky in place is because not everybody has their VS Code or their other editors configured the same way as you do. So for me, since I'm using VS Code, I already have Prettier installed. I have ESLint installed. So whenever I save or do anything with my code, VS Code, my editor, will let me know that there's some errors in place, some ESLint rule that I'm not adhering to, or some Prettier rule I'm not adhering to. I actually have it so that every time I do a change, it will, on every save, it will actually change my code, not for the ESLint, but for Prettier. But if then somebody else want to contribute to my plugin, and they don't have all this set up in their editor, this will not happen automatically for them. So that's why it's great to have that pre-commit hook, so that as soon as they try to commit, all of their code is formatted nicely, so that when it's pushed up to my repository, it looks the same way as my code would have done coming from my setup in VS Code. So it's a way to kind of force those rules and regulations. Yeah. Any questions, just pop them in the chat. So Ulla says that Git hooks are simple to make because they're just bash commands, and you lost me at bash scripts, or bash scripts, you said, because I am a front-end developer and that's too much for me. So I like Husky. We all have our strengths, right? So let's put it all together. And we'll start by installing all of this. So I'll just, since I know that Nick is a good guy, I'll just copy his thing because I trust that this is not a malicious command. But the only thing I want to do, because I think for this project, I am using yarn and not NPM, and I'm doing that because I need workplaces so that I can have my example Gatsby site here in the example folder. Let me know if this, I'm going to do that. I am going to zoom in a little bit. You zoom in. Yeah, hopefully this is better for you, all of you. I'm trying not to say you guys, so that's why I'm like, you what, y'all. I was an exchange student in Southern Indiana for 11 months, 10 months. And I think, and at that point, it was really important for me not to say y'all. So I think I managed to not say it until like month 8 or something. And I started saying y'all, because you do get, the, what's it called? Yeah, when everybody else around you says it, you start saying it. And I came home with a real Southern draw to my English. And I guess I just had to embrace the y'all again, because it is a great expression, actually. Another way you could say it's like you folks, but that doesn't feel, I've never said that. So, or peeps, I guess is friends. So yeah, anyway, y'all, I hope y'all can see this now. So I am using Yarn for this project because I need an example site here to run everything on, and I want to have that in its own workspace and then the actual plugin in its own folder. So that's why I'm using Yarn. So I'm going to copy paste in this command, and then we'll just change it to, and I can probably jump or something, but this is not my specialty. And also, people who have been with me for a while on these streams know that I have some keyboard confusion, so I'm trying not to make everything yarn, and it's yarn add, sorry. I am looking into buying some new nice keyboards, or keyboard. Okay. Running this command, well, that depends on the workspace root rather than the workspace itself, which might not be what you want. Yes, it's actually what I want, because I want all of this grunt work to happen on the root. So we need to do the capital W for workspace root. There we go. See, done this before, still, you know. Yeah, right? Peeps. It's like very friendly in a creepy kind of way. So, I mean, this, people, if you're not a front-end developer, this is a large part of our working life, is looking at NPM modules being installed. See if I can come up with a story while we're doing this. I remember when I was very new to this, you know, when things weren't working, well, I still do this, so it's not something when I was new. When things aren't working, you just delete the node modules folder, and then you run everything again, because the problem is almost always with something being messed up in the node modules folder. So that's a tip for everyone. Yes, so we have everything installed now, and let's go back to our friend Nick. So he's already saying, like, why is there a -D? It's so that there are dev dependencies instead of dependencies. So if you look at our package JSON file here, they're all dev dependencies because we don't need them. They're not needed when everything is packaged up. It's only for our benefits while we are developing. So in the root of a project, create a file called ESLint rc.js. This will house the ESLint configurations that we want. We will go with the ESLint recommended rules. So I kind of know that for the example site, I don't think we need this, because Gatsby comes rolled with its own ESLint. And for now, it's really just mostly important for us to get everything running smoothly for the plugin code. And then I think we'll try to figure out how we can kind of hook into and run the ESLint rules that Gatsby come with. We'll see how we can solve this. And maybe we'll look at some of my other projects to see how I've solved it before, because now I cannot remember. But for our plugin, we haven't gotten anything for free. So we'll start with the recommended rules. Why not? So let's just copy this. And I'm going to put it inside of the plugin. So he says root, but this is the root of our plugin kind of code. And we might want to have different ones, as I said, for the site and for the plugin. And also, I'm pretty sure that both Prettier and ESLint kind of work where it looks up. So it looks up. It's like in my parent folder, is there an ESLint? In the grandparent folder, and then it looks up until it can find something. So we don't have to have it in the root. We can have it in wherever, on whatever level we want those rules. They will be applied from that folder down. or so I believe. So let's put it in here, new folder, and then ESLint, isn't it ESLint? I cannot even write. ESLint RC. RC, and he says put a .js at the end. I usually don't do that, so let's see. Maybe then we don't have to have. So if we put a JS on the end, maybe it will be interpreted as a JS file. So that's nice. Cool. Learned something new today. And then let's save this. So as you can see, I already have like on save, things will happen, formatting will be happening. Whatever version you want here, let's just do that. And then he says we will then use the ESLint recommended extension, and then we'll use Prettier with the Prettier plugin, so that, and I think this, because for a while when Prettier was new, it was very common for developers to get into this state where ESLint and Prettier were fighting each other. So whenever you saved, it would just like, Prettier would change it, ESLint would change it, Prettier would change it, ESLint would, and it would be like this fight. So that has gotten better now that both are established players. And then we want to say browser environment true, because we do have some files in our plugin that that kind of thinks it's the browser. So I think we should have true here. We might have, or maybe not, because we're just doing, no, we're just doing server-side stuff with this plugin. So let's do browser false. Okay. Note. Yes, a note. Let's see what this note says. The ESLint env node is being used as it's a front-end project. ESLint env node. I can't. Oh, up here. So this is something he learned from Rafi. This file is a Node.js file. And thanks to Rafi for pointing this out to me. Nice. I learned something new as well. So if you put this ESLint env on top here, it will be interpreted in a node way, it seems like. If you want, for example, to using React in your project, there would be additional configurations for React ESLint rules. And I think we do. Let's have a look here. Gatsby SSSR. We are importing React. Let's see, what is it? Oh, so we do have an ESLint thing already. But we are using React here, so we have to figure out how to configure ESLint for React for this project. And then I think we'll just go and copy from one of my other projects, right? In the Router project called ESLint, this will house the ESLint. We're not using ESLint, so skip that. And then we will be setting up the Husky stuff. So we have to remember to go back, or well, let's do that. Let's do that right now so that we are already done. So I think we need a larger ECMA version. So ECMA is the proper word for the JavaScript language. And so ECMA version 2018 means that we should use the 2018 version of JavaScript. And I think that we need a higher one because I am using the new way of importing things here, even though it's not a module. So let's go to ESLint and search what kind of ECMA versions we can have. ESLint ECMA versions. Oh, not. Let's see, rules. But let's just do, excuse me, ECMA version. What versions do we have? Don't we have like a 2021? Here. Yeah, we have 2019, 2020. So let's go with 2020. Is it still complaining? Yep. So I think we have to tell it something that it doesn't have to be a module for it to work. Import export may only appear within source type module. export might only be saying may appear only with source type model, only appear. I'm just clicking on the first one. Oh, is it a Babel? See, we might not even get to do this in 1 hour because I remember there's always things that are. Let's do ESLint. Only pair at the top level. This looks like one is natively doesn't support this because this is against the spec. But if you use Babel ESLint parser, then inside your ESLint config file, you can do this. I am not, but it's probably working because this then gets used by Gatsby, and then Gatsby uses that. So didn't seem like Babel ESLint was needed. No. Let's just do these options. Here, parser options. We can still do then 2018. And then we'll do, just let's do allow import, export everywhere. Shouldn't this then be gone? Or do we also need the source type module? Yes. We remove the error or the warning because it's not an error because I know this runs. Cool. Then we have this in place. Now we need to let it allow React stuff. So with React, we use something called JSX, which is the way we write our HTML, and we are allowed to just have HTML inside of JavaScript. And this is what ESLint is telling us here. Now, this isn't an unexpected token. You're not supposed to just have. I need to learn the word for all of these characters. This character, angly bracket, angle bracket, I guess. I know, but it's not expecting this in the middle of JavaScript because that is not something that's allowed. So we had to tell it that we're using React and set it up for React, just as Nick told us. And I don't remember how to do that, so we'll Google that as well. Setting up React with ESLint. Ooh, but now I remember how I figured this out because Gatsby has an article about their default ESLint, and maybe for a plugin, we should just have the same ESLint that Gatsby has. I remember doing that. And the ESLint, Gatsby ESLint default. Here, using ESLint. Woo! ESLint config. Gatsby you replicate mostly the ESLint config Gatsby ships with. So you can add preset plugins and rules. Copy the snippet below to the newly created ESLint, then add initial preset plugins and rules as desired. Use the command below. So we want this, save dev. The ESLint config React app is what they're using. Maybe we should just use the same one. Adds. So their ESLint. Oh my God, this is a long ESLint. Allow base config. Parser. Okay, I'm not using. Let's see what they're saying. Okay, coffee time. I need to reassemble. Okay. This means that it will override the built-in and need to blah, blah, blah. One way to do this is the community plugin, Gatsby plugin, ESLint, blah, blah, blah. ESLint config, Gatsby ships it would be really written. Yes. But what we can do is we can do this where we extend the React app one, Or we maybe want to be more fine-grained with this plugin. I think we might want to be more, maybe not. Yes, I think we do. So let's go back to setting up React with ESLint. Which one of these articles do we think are the best? Do we think maybe ESLint has one? So I'm thinking this year, I'm going to go more like in depth on these topics, because until now, I just, even though I've been a coder for years and years, I just like copy and like muddle together whatever I can see from other people's projects and stuff like that. But I'm thinking maybe this is the year where I'm going to go in and like actually get a fuller understanding of the different options and getting like good at DevOps for my needs. I guess not really DevOps, but anywho, React. Here. ESLint plugin React. Let's just use that then, since it's recommended from the ESLint page. So we want to do ESLint. Yes, we've already done that. ESLint plugin React. Yarn, add, and then we needed the workspace flag, and we needed the dev flag. And we're again waiting for modules to download. Should have a little, I have a composer friend. Maybe I should get him to make me NPM modules downloading kind of vignette, as we call it in Norwegian. Okay. And then we'll do the extends, use our presets to get reasonable defaults. ESLint recommended, and then we'll do plugin React recommended. So I'm guessing extends, ESLint recommended, that's what we have, and then we'll do the React recommended. And it already messed up my stuff because I have that on save or on copy paste, I guess. Let's see now. It stopped complaining about our script. Cool. I think we now have most of what we need with our ESLint. So let's go back to Nick's article and let's just close up all these tabs to be a little bit tidy when we are streaming or just in life in general. So now we're going to go down to the fun part where we're setting up Husky. We're not doing StyleLint. So I now realized we copied all of his installs, and we also then copied in the StyleLint stuff. So let's uninstall that by going to a root package, and we don't need the StyleLint. So yarn remove workspace. I don't know if that workspace flag needs to be there for removal, but no harm in using it. Maybe have a little while we're waiting for NPM modules to install. Oh my God, this is the life of a front-end developer. And we have 20 minutes left, and we're gonna make it. I am not spending more than an hour on this, for sure. So let me know, the people who are usually hanging with me on the stream, how the sound is, because I am eyeing a new microphone. The streaming thing business is not cheap. You start wanting stuff. Okay, we managed to uninstall, so let's go back and keep on going. So this, next up, we need there's an error here, I'll let him know. Next up, we need to set up, I guess, our Husky and lint stage configurations. In your package.json file, add these two configuration sections. Lint staged, in your package.json file, add these two configuration sections. Lint staged, ESLint Prettier, and we don't need the stylint. And then, so it looks like he has his Prettier rules here inside of package JSON. I like to have them in their own Prettier RC file. So I'm going to keep on doing that, but I'll add the lint staged then. And we'll delete that part. Why do you not want to save properly? That means that something is up with our... Is there a debug there? Oh. What's up here now? Okay. So we have our lint staged. Because I think I have a Prettier file here already. Yep, I have an empty Prettier file, which just means I want to use the default Prettier settings. I always think it's nice to just use the default instead of spending hours arguing about what is the correct setting. If you don't trust the robots for fixing your code, remove the fix argument of the ESLint. So I think this fix means that on then pre-commit, it will actually fix the ESLint problems it's finding instead of just warning you. I'm going to just test it with fix on for a while and see how that goes, because it sounds pretty nice. And if Nick has used it for a while, then I'm going to trust that it's a good solution. So above is what I use, but feel free to tweak it. Yes, the Prettier. All the moving parts are running now. If you end up using a boilerplate, these tools might already be included, as he said, with Create React App. So it's already included, I know, with Gatsby. So we're going to do that afterwards. And then bonus, run just tests. I do have tests, so let's have a look at that. He says, Jess, you can also run tests related to files that are being committed. Oh, I find that interesting. So I'm probably guessing that then if the tests fail, you're not allowed to commit, which is a good rule. So let's try that. Just find related tests. I'm very excited about wondering if this will work at all when we try to run it. I already noticed that something is not acting up with all of my rules. And he strongly encouraged you to dig further into all of the tools discussed. Knowing your tools really well is a superpower. Yes, Nick, I will do that sometime this year. But for now, I'm just copying what you did. Okay, so let's see then what happens. But it feels like something like there should have been like a Husky something. But let's first just try to run these commands ourselves to see if they actually work, if we're getting any errors. So ESLint fix, let's try to run that on our code. So ESLint command is not found. Well, oh, sorry, npm run. Yes, can I do that? No, because it's not. See, this is where my knowledge is just useless. No file matching the pattern were found. Well, that is, oh, it's because he's using this part here, which I guess is then ESLint, something like that. No, I don't know how to do this myself, so let's not then. Let's just try to make it with our pre-commit. So let's make something wrong, save it, and see if we manage to fix it with our commit, with our pre-commit hook. Because what I'm not seeing is like actually Husky being set up. Because when I've done this before, we tell Husky to, there's like a Husky portion of the package JSON file. So, but it's not in this project. So maybe the lint stage does that for us. I'm just going to read a little bit about lint stage so I know what I'm doing. Run linters against staged Git files and don't let poop slip into base. Cool. Lint staged. It will install and so it will install and configure Husky for us and lint stage depending on code quality. Okay, so cool. Now change a few files, add patch. So it's setting up Husky for us, even this lint staged tool. So that's cool. So let's then go and see if we can mess up something and see if it works. The problem now is that for Prettier, at least, my code editor, VS Code, will fix things for me, but I don't think it will fix it for me with the actual JavaScript. So let's just do something wrong. I think if I just use a variable that doesn't exist, it will yell at me. Nope. It's not. If I try, I want to force an ESLint error. So I have my develop test npm version. Let's try to make something not work. So if we just do, I think it should be if we just like use an undefined variable, it should work. So var test equals test, for instance. That should give us an ESLint error. So if we now try to commit, let's make a new branch. Git checkout branch, grunt work. Git commit message test. Not even staged, but we'll do it here. Test. It worked. So let's see. Commit. Undo last commit. So let's not do that then. What can we do for our ESLint rules that it doesn't like? So ESLint recommended. Let's go and have a look at what kind of rules it is, and then let's see if we can mess up one of the rules. Property enables rules that report common projects would have the marked checks. So no constant condition, no debugger, no dupe args, no dupe else if, empty block statements. Let's try this then. This example incorrect code for this rule. So if we do an if, it's empty. So if you do if boy, and then it's an empty thing. Then we'll commit all the files. But it does not do anything for us. I am not feeling that it should also run our tests. So if I change this, it should also run our tests. So it feels like it's actually not running at all, doesn't it? I got 10 minutes. So frustrating. I know all of this in theory, but then, maybe it's because it's in the root folder and not in the project folder that I need it to be. Because Jest is not installed here, so it needs to be run in the. It needs to be run inside of the actual project. So I think maybe we need to do lint plugin, lint. Then we need to do this yarn workspace. So it's actually done on the workspace. And then we need to do ESLint. Then we need to do the same thing for the tests. Oh, I already have tests in place, but let's do the test related. And related tests. And then if we do yarn test related, and yarn lint. So then do yarn lint, it should lint. ESLint fix. So it runs that and it says that's good. Yarn test related. Not working. Why is it? Okay, so let's go and look at our plugin to see other plugin to see if we can figure out how we did that there. So here it's very convoluted. I thought I had Husky working on this project. Gatsby, remark, oh, I'm bad. Package. Yeah, so here I actually have it inside of the project. So maybe I should have it inside of the project, but I know I've had some issues with Husky when it's run on workspace projects, but I might only want to do this for our plug-in workspace, so maybe then that would work. Let's do lint staged with yarn workspace. For my new project, get in and lint to your mono right mono blah get go. So it's added to the root, yes. Yes. This example, and that's it. Lint stage will run the roots lint script, and yarn workspaces will run each package lint script. Yes, we need to do. So we need to set it up like that. Okay. Let's have a look at the repo he set it up in. So lint, yarn workspaces, run lint. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I learned something new. It looks like you can run something on all the workspaces. You can say workspaces run lint, and it runs lint on all the workspaces. I thought you had to specify each, the name of each workspace that you want to run stuff on. So that's cool. We learned something new there. And then check format. And then in lint stage, he says yarn format, and then yarn prettier right. Yes, he runs that on all of the files exactly the same way we want. So yarn format, lint stage, yes, yarn format, cool. So let me have a think of how we should solve this. My problem with this a little bit is that I don't know, can I dry run lint stage? That would be nice to know. I'm just gonna, I forgot to. Can we, Prettier write should pretty much work because that just works on all files down the line. But does ESLint fix work all the way down the line? It should though, but something is up with this repository. Let me see if I can dry run lint stage. That would be nice. Test, see if it's working at all. And I'm guessing this is going to be solved like this as soon as I'm off stream, because when you're on stream, you're like, what? To the people who are still following, thank you. Installation, don't forget to change. Yeah, so I'm guessing at least the testing needs to be done on the actual workspace. So if we put the test staged, then we should do the workspace and then just find related tests. And then we'll do yarn test staged. Test staged. Are you still with me? I felt I went into this with like all this energy and like this is going to be super easy. We're just going to pop it out. It's going to work, and it does not. Oh boy. Okay, let's do some changes again then to our Gatsby node. So we can force this to run, commit, and do last commit. And we'll commit it. Yarn commit. Yarn commit message test. Not even write commit. It's not yarn, it's git. But it's like references this ESLint RC, so something is happening. 4 file turns. So it seems like it's like using it, but it's not running the test per se. We need to do something that ESLint could fix for us, I guess. And this is not fixable. So ESLint fixable. Fix. The words rules are generally modified to comply with it. This modification in each case is to move a property specification to the next line whenever there's a part or all of previous properties. For example, it's converted to, okay. All the property specification examples. Example, incorrect code for this rule with no object. Allow properties on same line set to false. So let's try that then. ESLint. Can I just add rules to it though? So this should then be changed to multi-line. And let's see if object property new line. And then let's look at ESLint. So we can just add new rules. So make sure that that rule is in place. False. Now this hopefully isn't valid. Okay, ruled. Rules. Okay, let's see then if something changes here. It does not change, so it's not working. I think we actually have to keep on doing this next Sunday, because I'm only allowed to work for an hour on Sundays, and it's not working. I am really bummed now. I thought I had this. I thought this would be a stream where I actually made everything work like it should work, and I'm not getting it to work because I don't know my tools well enough. I should definitely have a look at these tools more in depth. But wait a second. Yeah, because I have my ESLint there. Let's see if I put my ESLint in the root, because... Okay, let's have a look at that. Haha, then it changed it. Oh, one file changed, 16. No, it's not. It didn't change this. Okay. Oh boy. I think it has something to do with the workspaces. So I'll have to try to figure that out. And then come March, well, I guess it's March tomorrow, but from March, I'm going to try to do one screencast a month. So when I've figured all of this out, I might do a proper, well-prepared screencast in contrast to my Sunday fun days, where we are just YOLOing it and seeing if we can figure this stuff out on air. And we didn't really today, but it's gotten me further than I would have gotten had I not been on stream, I think, because this is the stuff of kind of work that I keep on postponing and postponing. So we have tried to follow Nick's stuff I always set up for front-end work in kind of the manner that he suggested it. I have it going similarly for my own embed plugin, but I wanted to try this lint staged and trying to do it all kind of in the root so that our rules are applied to all our sub-projects or workspaces, I guess, with our Yarn workspace, but that didn't really work as smoothly as I hoped it would. So I will try to figure it out. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow. You can go to see there. I tweeted about this stream, and I will probably update it with kind of the solution when I find my solution, since I didn't really get all the way today. And if you want to know what's going around in my corner of the interwebs, Ray Codes, then you can sign up for the newsletter in the description. I send out an email every Sunday, and lots of fun stuff are going to happen in March. Since you've been here with me all the way to the end, I'll give you some sneak peeks. So on March 8th, POW, my kind of main project these days, which is Privacy First Menstrual Cycle Journal, is 1 year old. So there's going to be lots of celebrations on March 8th, which is also International Women's Day. I will be doing a panel for a meetup in Toronto, and I will stream live at 8 o'clock, that GMT +1, which I do every month with kind of a status update in POW, but that's going to be changing into more of a Ray Codes update because I do have several projects that I work on. And then not tomorrow, but on Tuesday, March 2nd, Paul Jarvis of Fathom Analytics and the author of Company of One will interview me for his podcast that is produced by MailChimp. So pretty big deal. Kind of excited about that. So that's happening. And then on March 18th, there will be a screencast. And then on March 28th, there will be a day in my life, again, more vlog style content that I did this summer but I'm going to start that up again as well. So things are picking up here at Lily Labs, our family web shop, and me specifically, Ray Codes. So hope to see you around. Hope to see you next Sunday, where we'll continue on this journey of automating the grunt work. The plan next Sunday was to set up semantic release, but we'll finish up the work we did today and then, or at least go through the solution. If I've found the solution before next Sunday, if I have time, I might not, but then we'll finish up this work and then we're going to start on semantic release, which will help us do completely automated releases of the plugin, which I am really excited about, because on my last plugin, kind of the little bit of a pain, like you do a lot of changes and then you have to kind of do that release portion of the work. I always get anxious and a little bit nervous, and then I kind of postpone it and I don't do it. But if it's automated, it will just happen, and my feelings will have nothing to say about the new release being released or not. So fairly excited to learn more about that as well. And then at the end there, I think I've scheduled a third Sunday where I'm asking you if you have anything you would like to see me do on stream and figure out on my own or with y'all, as we've decided it should be called. So that's all for today. I'm really happy to have you with me. I'm sorry we didn't manage to set this up perfectly, but follow me on Twitter or just check out the description below, or, sign up for the newsletter and I'll let you know when I have figured it out. Okay. Bye-bye. If I can manage to stop this, let's see. There. Bye-bye. Have a great Sunday, and I hope it's as sunny as it is in Oslo.